now we're starting to get into the world of like deep fakes. Have you seen
AI?
Yeah. And I mean, we can start moving into that too.
Well, and I don't mean to cut you off. Like Elon Musk even said, I think he was talking to Rogan. Mm-hmm. He said on Rogan's podcast, he's like, he doesn't like AI.
No.
He does not like. He's fearful of what that'll create. No,
he's been very vocal about his distrust towards AI. When it comes down to it, with the whole AI thing, I think that we are pretty far off from having artificial intelligence that actually becomes sentient and is something that's able to like hack into our network and end up controlling the world or whatever. I think if it does get to that point, it would be dangerous. But I see other dangers with this AI, artificial intelligence, that we're starting to get now.
What is AI? Kind of like, because I'm not real familiar with.
Well, I mean, that's hard to really determine because
they call AI what's actually not AI.
Yeah, no, because actual artificial intelligence would be a
sentient computer.
Yeah, a manufactured system of binary units, ones, zeros, that has code that's a machine that's becomes conscious. Sentient, that has maybe not necessarily emotions, but thoughts and theoretical.
Yeah, its own stream of consciousness.
Can you explain that to me again, as if I was a fifth grader, please?
Basically, a computer
gets smart.
A computer that can think like you do, like have independent thoughts and reacting without like a code forcing it to.
I mean, there are times when I like my car to do that when I'm driving, because I like to look at my phone, send emails, get texts, and make put deals together. Get on my laptop, write an offer while I'm driving on 275. That's normal. I like either that, or I'd like to have somebody drive for me.
Right, and but that's not technically artificial intelligence.
I know that. I just say that jokingly.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing, and that's one issue that I have with it. A lot of people are starting to freak out about, the Snapchat AI that just came on, that everyone's got on their phone now. And there was a big meme that popped up where they asked the AI, do you know my location? It was like, no, I don't keep that information. And then they were like, what's the closest McDonald's to me? And it sent the closest McDonald's. And they were like, well, if you don't know where I'm at, how do you know what the closest McDonald's to me is? And it was like, oh, I'm sorry, that must have been a miscalculation. They just kind of went back and forth with that or whatever. The thing about it is, if you're connected to a network, it doesn't matter if it's cellular, Wi-Fi, whatever. If you have a phone and it's connected to any type of network, someone can access that if they want to.
If you allow for your location to be...
Even if you're allowed... Like, they say that if you can turn that off, but I don't necessarily believe that.
Yeah, the phone company can still access that information if they needed to. But yeah, I mean, you can tell certain apps, like, not to track your location and blah, blah, blah. But if you use a navigation app, then of course it's got to track your GPS
I do every
in order
day.
to
every day. All the time.
But you can set whatever settings you want to, but at the end of the day, there is a digital chip that is in that device, and it is able to be tracked.
Which, personally, I could care less if they know where the heck I am.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
I don't either. If you're up to no good, I can see why it would be an issue. But
just don't be up to no good, then.
Well, a lot of people are up to no good. Everyone has their dirt.
That's on them.
I said this on a podcast not too long ago. Unless you are really someone who is being noticed by the federal government, you really don't need to worry.
No.
People are freaking out that the Snapchat AI knows where they are, and it's since 2017 we have had that map on Snapchat where if you scroll all the way to the left on Snapchat, you can see exactly where your friends are unless they have ghost mode on.
What is Snapchat AI? Explain that. What is that?
I'm not really sure exactly what it is, but it may be ChatGPT, and this is kind of what I want to get into.
I know what that is.
ChatGPT is this artificial intelligence, air quotes, that is essentially, it's kind of like a vamped up Siri in a way.
Right.
It's just something that you can ask questions to, and it interacts with you. But it's a computer.
Right.
Now, one of the things that I find kind of scary about it is if you've seen some of these videos that are going around, apparently like these ChatGPT, they've given it a prompt to do something, and in order to do that, they're not able to access certain websites or whatever, but the person who is entering the prompt is telling them to access this. And because it's not able to, like, you know, get past CAPTCHAs, it doesn't have the intelligence to do that. But what it does is it goes on like Fiverr and pays someone to get past the CAPTCHA for it so that it can continue to do the things that it does. So,
but you don't pay for ChatGPT, do you?
Do you pay for Chat?
I don't. Sure. I've used it like probably 5 times for business purposes. Honestly.
See, I've never used it at all.
I've used it 5 times for business purposes. It was fantastic.
But the thing is now, whether or not it's sentient and can like actually take over the world or whatever, that's kind of irrelevant. That doesn't matter. But the fact that people are already, now that this has been released within the past couple weeks or whatever to the public, it's already fucking getting through back doors and finding ways around what they need to do. That's scary, because now people who don't necessarily have the know-how to, you know, hack into my computer or whatever can possibly
can use the AI,
can possibly
whatever code to do
divert code to make it do it.
If they know if they know how to do stuff like that with code, right?
Just ask the AI to do it itself.
Yeah.
Oh.
If the AI can figure it out and do it, then it's it's going to be like, you know.
So they can figure out how to get to my house if they wanted to.
Well, it's one of those things where the AI works on an algorithm, and it is it's what's the word for it? It's suited for you. So the more and more you talk to it, the more and more it learns. Not necessarily it as like a sentient being, but just like, you know, you were talking before. Like you were talking before about the bourbon you were talking about, and then you scroll down your Facebook and all of a sudden the thing's on there. It learns like that. Yeah. Our phones are listening to us. And like apparently I've heard that, like, if I'm on a phone or whatever, that's how they get the advertisements or whatever. Yeah. The phones are connected to a point where if you're searching something a lot and I'm in the same vicinity as you, it picks up that information and will send that to my phone. Now I'm all of a sudden getting the advertisements that you would be particular to you.
That's why some big tech guys say that, like, we should get paid for our data, because like them using like the data points and stuff, like it helps them like for marketing purposes and stuff. Sure. They can like see so far ahead of like what's going to be a trend and like all these things that like they wouldn't have access to before. And like that's why like our phone companies and stuff are taking our data and selling it to companies and stuff, and they're making a fortune off of it.
Do you know what's wild? Sorry to cut you off.
You're good.
Google and Amazon, what's that chick's name? What's her name?
Alexa?
Alexa, thank you. Yeah. They are trying to get with real estate agents in order to charge them a certain amount of money to be able to be on like their like top list of, like, if you say, hey, Google, because I have one of them here. Yeah. Tell me a good real estate agent on the west side of Cincinnati or whatever. Like, you can literally pay for that marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I think that's
I'm not saying that's not what you guys are talking about. I'm just saying, like, that's kind of.
I don't necessarily think the Alexa and Google at this point, I know that they're trying to make them more AI based or whatever, where it actually talks to you and is able to. The thing that kind of got me on this one, or on this topic, was if you know anything about RuneScape, it's a game when I was a kid that was really big or whatever. It's still big, and they have a huge issue with botting. Not botting as in like intelligence computers that are able to talk to you, but like essentially you can write a script in your computer that makes it play the game for you, so you can level up while you're not playing. Well, they found a way with ChatGPT now to put that on the bot. So now this is how they get rid of the bots, because they realize, like, oh, this isn't a person that's actually talking to me. It has like pre-scripted prompts that will, if you type to it, it will respond with X, Y, Z.
Gotcha.
Now with ChatGPT, because we have this artificial intelligence that learns while it's talking to you, these bots that are doing their thing, you talk to it and they're unable to decipher whether or not this is an actual human or an artificial intelligence from ChatGPT.
And another problem is like kids using that shit for their schoolwork to write essays and do all these things. Like, basically makes it to where, like, you know, like school and college and stuff, like you could literally get a degree in something like completely online and not ever do anything. Like, do it all through AI and stuff.
Yeah. And it causes, then that's one of the big scary things about artificial intelligence. Maybe we're letting this entire digital world around us get too too powerful. Like you
where
just said, where
us.
you don't have to do anything at all. We're starting to get to a place where we're going to be like the WALL-E movie.
Yeah, I mean, think about that. Not just for school, but like depending on what like kind of work you do or whatever. Like I'm sure that they can write like some sort of like code and script that can do like accounting and like do books for somebody. So like if that's your job and you do it remotely, like
I don't know if you know this,
put in
but
some algorithm and
they don't necessarily do artificial intelligence with it, but apparently there's this huge thing in like Silicon Valley, the tech hub of the entire United States, where like these people, a lot of the reasons why it's so competitive and hard to get jobs is because these people aren't necessarily doing the work. They are able to create this script or this prompt, this code that is able to do their jobs for them. So it's like, hey, I need you to build me a website. Okay, I'm just going to design this code in a couple hours that is going to just completely revamp your website.
Right. Well, and then
all that.
One of the things that's going to be crazy is like when and there's already cases where this happens is when the AI can write code faster and better than than we can.
And of course it is. And that's why people are so scared about it becoming like sentient and taking over, because the capacity, the mental capacity of our computer is so much higher and more advanced than what we can comprehend.
And so much faster calculating and doing everything. One of the things that like Elon Musk was talking about with ChatGPT that like concerns him is that people are teaching it how to lie. Mm-hmm. And like why? Like we shouldn't be doing that. Like computers especially should always be, they're a tool for us, so they should always be used to, be truthful or whatever. But like that's something that he said scares him about it. And like he knows more about it than I'll ever know.
The answer to that question is because there's a lot more individuals on this planet that are
nefarious.
I don't even know what that word means,
have
but
ill
sure.
Intentions.
Yes, have the wrong intentions. Yeah, malicious individuals, and there are good. Yep. So unfortunately, those who use something like this for the good, there's probably 2, 3, 4 times more people using it for the bad.
Well, I don't know the specific numbers.
I don't know. I'm just saying that it seems like there's probably more of those people who are trying to figure out ways to use this to their advantage in a way that you probably shouldn't.
It's hard to decipher because, if you want to go back to like Anonymous, and like an Anonymous is a hacker group that still is very prevalent today, our government would deem them malicious in nature. They would deem them like almost criminals and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they kind of, when they act on something, it's something that they deem so fit and the mass populace deems so unfit from our leaders that they do something about it. Yeah. And they're able to do something about it.
Right.
But this is underground people that aren't government ran. They're just
it's not regulated.
Yeah, no, not at all.
I look at it too, like when I was on dating apps, thank goodness I have a girlfriend, someone I'm dating, right? Mm-hmm. But when I was on dating apps, dude, there were so many freaking bots. I don't know if you've been on Tinder or Hinge or Bumble or whatever, but there were so many freaking bots.
I get them adding me on Snapchat all the time. Yeah.
I get I'm like, well, how the hell, like, quick ad and all that crap? Like, I'm like, what? Who are you?
Yeah.
I don't, add them. I delete it right away.
Oh, I add them. I get in conversations with them.
Mess with them.
I mess with them and fucking.
But like, I get text messages from people like, oh, hey Betty, can you pick me up at 6:00? I'm like, you have the wrong number. And then they try and get into conversation with me on stuff, and it's like some out of state or country number. I'm just like seriously.
Those are so weird because some of them just have like pre-written responses,
scripts.
Some of them just automatically send you a link, and some of them lightweight might be real people. Because I've had a couple conversations, because I do this a lot, where like they
I try and mess with them on the phone.
I mess with them, and some of them almost seem like it's someone behind the messages. They just don't understand English.
Right.
Sometimes they're real people, but just not the person that's in the picture. Catfishing and stuff like that. And who knows? They might be some big fat like gay dude that's just trying to get like pictures of your dick or something like that.
And this is another problem when we're talking about artificial intelligence that's able to read you and create responses that are geared towards you. When you have someone like OnlyFans, which is another thing completely, because you might have like an OnlyFans girl who prompts it to respond to all the people that are on there, but you also have like these Snapchat bots that are messaging you. Now it's not just some pre-written thing that automatically you send a second message, it has this response or whatever. Now it's going to learn and tailor. And there's a lot of guys out there that are fucking part of this simp culture, and they really do not understand.
It seems more real, and now they're going to be buying or whatever the hell these people are trying to sell, as far as trying to get them to sign up for something and pay for whatever. I
lightweight at the end of the day think that this AI is a problem, and not because it's Skynet and it's going to become sentient and take over the human population. I just think that humans will design it to a point where we are just unable to determine what is reality and what is not reality.
Right. That's scary.
It's very scary.
It's scary shit. That's where you have to look and say, like, this doesn't seem real, and even if it was real, you probably should err on the side of caution.
But that's why what I was talking about with the RuneScape bots that are talking to them and shit like that, it's already, just now, they're talking about multiple minutes, fucking like 15, 20-minute conversations that they're having with these bots where they don't even realize they're bots. Eventually it gets there, but...
Trust the people you know.
Couple months. Let's talk 2 years from now.
Trust the people you know. Call them on the phone.
Dude,
if you can't talk to them, then maybe you can be like, all right, well, this person maybe isn't real.
Right.
You know.
And we are getting to a point where it is so hard. Have y'all seen? I know you're not much of a gamer, but
no, I'm not.
Have you seen this Unreal 5 body cam video games that they have where it looks like a cop video game?
I don't think so.
Dude, they are so realistic. I'm officially at the point where we should not let fucking people play these video games because they're going to be desensitized to violence.
Yeah, well, think about the future of porn. When you can just like put a VR headset on and see any girl that you want, you know, and then use like a fucking fleshlight or even some other type of machine that can actually move and do things.
Sex bots too. They have those
sex bots, and then that connect with VR as well. Like, how many people are just never going to leave their house and never pursue, you know, like. You know, the
very
sex.
Realistic thing, man.
Yeah, no doubt. And like they already say that the birth rate like is on the decline,
coming down
massively. Yeah.
Dude,
well, and a lot of people already do that in the sense that, you know what, I see a lot of these, especially younger generation, they're sitting across from somebody at a restaurant that they're there to eat with and hang out with and stuff, and they're both just doing this.
Yep, they're on the phone. And
no one's going to have the ability to have a real conversation with anyone in 5 years.
Luckily, we're from the generation that both was in the digital era and the analog era, so we know a little bit about both. But some of these kids, man, I mean, I've seen guys on Joe Rogan that talk about, like, these kids that are, like, 15, 16 years old that fucking are unable to hook up with a chick because they're so desensitized to fucking Pokemon porn that, like, real women just doesn't get them off,
or they have no ability to be able to actually have a real conversation with anyone, you know, in this situation, a female, to actually, like, you know, connect with that person. No one wants to have a real connection. It's just like whatever.
No, I hate it. Fucking,
it's insane.
You were talking about dating apps before, man. I get on fucking dating apps. It's so hard for me personally to connect with someone over fucking a text message on phones.
It is.
But
I hate it. Dude.
I hate it.
It just makes it so simplistic, and that's what everyone's doing.
But that's what the world is now.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yes, that's where you just gotta. It's honestly, it's quantity, not necessarily quality. Because if you do the quantity, you'll find hopefully someone that is that quality.
Unless you're a woman.
Well,
yeah.
if they swipe right on you.
Damn, hurts my feelings.
I'm kidding. I love great guy here. You know. Well,
he hates me.
No, I don't. No,
he'll be all right though. Y'all have any closing comments on AI? I think we covered it. We're not going to do what we've been sipping on this week because I haven't been sipping on much except doing this podcast and working this week. So
watch Midst or listen to Midst.
Yeah, you were talking about it last week.
I got Jack and Justin both on it, and they fucking love it, dude.
Yeah. How many episodes are
out? 5. And they're like 20 minutes long. So
maybe we'll circle back to that, and I'll watch it a little bit, and we'll get back to it. But for now, this has been episode 54 of Your House, Our Rules. Peace.
Hooday.